Okay, welcome back, Physics 30. Hopefully you had an opportunity to finish off these last few questions. Just a warning here, I think this number 5 one is likely the most difficult one on the whole sheet. Let's take a look. So starting in a positive position, this one's tricky. Slows down to a stop while you're traveling in a negative direction. Okay, so you're going at a negative direction. So you have a negative velocity if you're going in the negative direction. In order to get a large negative, you must have had a huge negative slope. Okay. And so this is like we're in the positive direction away from home, but we're running back towards home. So the graph's going to look a little weird here. So constant acceleration, we're in the negative direction, and we slow down to a stop, which means our velocity is going to hit here. So our velocity is going to be an increasing line. So yeah, we're in the right spot here. Now, of course, the slope of this should be a straight line. He's going to give us an acceleration graph that looks like that. Okay, so we're going at a negative velocity, but we slow down to a stop. If our velocity has this opposite sign of the velocity, that means we are slowing down. So in order to get this graph, large negative, medium negative, 0. Large negative, medium negative, and then 0. It doesn't matter if I go through this line. So it should be a curve which approaches a flat line here, and I'm really brutal using the mouse here to draw that. So a curve like that approaching a horizontal line, your position staying the same because you hit 0. Okay, so that's a tricky graph because usually we're talking about going in the positive direction. This one is referring to the negative direction. Next one starts in the negative position, speeds up. So again, we have acceleration, and we're heading in the positive direction. So our VT, it doesn't tell us if we start off at 0, so it doesn't really matter where we start this, as long as we have our velocity increasing. Now this should be a straight line, and of course the slope of that is a constant positive line, which indicates constant acceleration. And of course here I have 0, small positive, large positive, so that's a large positive slope. So it's curving upwards like that. And again, I fail at using the mouse there, so it looks kind of brutal, but you get the idea hopefully. Drives away from home in the positive direction with constant velocity. Constant velocity tells us right off the bat that we are not accelerating. So if I look back here, not accelerating, so that's going to be 0. Velocity is a straight line, a horizontal line, and PT is either going to be increasing or decreasing. So looking here, we're going in the positive direction with constant velocity, so constant positive velocity. And of course, in order to get a positive constant number, I must have a line that looks like this. So the slope of an increasing line is a constant positive number. Okay, last one. Starts in a positive position and speeds up with constant acceleration in the negative direction. So this is back to the case of I am accelerating. So that means my acceleration is there, my PT is going to be a curve, my VT is an increasing or decreasing straight line. So going back to here, speeding up. So that means this graph must have looked like this. Whoa, it should be a straight line, but you can see I fail at that. So if I take the slope of this line, I get a constant negative number. 0 velocity, 0 slope. Small negative velocity, small negative slope. Large negative slope. So you can see it's a curve that looks like this, kind of curving downwards. Well, I actually drew that half decent for a change. Okay, there you have it. So kind of tricky, but if you look at this PT graph, there's only 4 types of curves you're going to get. So there's either one that's going like that, or curving downwards, or high positive coming to 0, or large negative coming to 0. So there's only one of 4 options for the PT graph when it's a curve. So if you can kind of figure out which one that is, you're on your way. Then of course there's this scenario in which we're not accelerating, it's a constant positive velocity, and that tends to be an easier scenario. Okay, there you have it, the graph matching section.